from 1800s onwards. The Middle East is not as significant as it is today, because that time it was just, I am from Tanzania. I do belong to Gujarati community. Gujaratis, when, colonialism began, moved to work and to trade. You start with Gujarat, right?
All right.
And the Gujarati people are known to be traders, but historically speaking.
Yes.
It's just, so there are people in Yemen, or the capital of Yemen that time was Aden.
Yep.
Mr. Mukesh Ambani, the richest man in India, is born in Aden, Yemen. We live in an era where racial profiling just doesn't work. Because today I cannot make the assumption on the basis of how you look, where you come from. With the Gujarati people, the traditions follow.
Okay.
And so does the business. It just follows.
How has your journey been so far?
Yes. So I am from Tanzania. I was born and raised in Tanzania. And it's a country on the east coast of Africa for, the people who need context about this place. We border 8 countries, making us one of the countries that border most countries in Africa. So 8 is a lot of countries. So we know cross borders, we have different cultures, of course, because we have different countries. So for example, we have Kenya in the north, we have Uganda in the northeast, we have Burundi, Rwanda, and the Congo on the eastern side. And then we have in the southern, we have Mozambique, Zambia, and Malawi. So it really puts us in a very strategic position as a country. And so Tanzania is just very different from, most countries in Africa. And I've seen that a lot of the times when we talk about Africa, we talk about it as a whole continent, which I think people mistake very often.
Okay.
Because to talk about something as a whole, it doesn't make sense. However, from a Western perspective, that would sound okay. Because, as I can talk about Europe as a continent because there is a body that unites. So there's the European Union, the Council of Europe. That's why we say, okay, Europe has these facilities. Or, we talked about Europe as a whole because it's a very small place. It's
a region, let's say.
Yes, exactly. It's a very small continent. Whereas Africa is large, it's vast. So I was born, and I've had the pleasure to be born and raised there. I speak at least 5 languages. Of course, I cannot make the claim that I'm fluent in all 5 of them.
Yeah.
But I'm fluent in the 3 that I speak normally. And the other 2 I learned. So we start with English, of course. That's one language that we use as the language of administration in the country, at school, in education in Tanzania. Kiswahili, which is the main language, the original language of the country.
Tanzania, okay.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So before the British came, we were under the Germans, and we spoke Kiswahili before. And Kiswahili, for the people who don't know, is a language that's a fusion language. So you have, these original languages. For example, you have Latin. That's the original language. Latin is original. French is fusion language because it is Latin and other words combine.
Yes.
So, you understand that these languages are different. And so in Tanzania, we speak Kiswahili, and it is a fusion language of different words and different cultures also.
Okay.
So it has fusions from Arabic, Gujarati also, and a lot of other places from the world. Because, Tanzania used to be very...
Did you say Gujarati?
Yes, exactly. I said Gujarati because
okay.
The words, they're very similar words in Swahili that we use in Gujarati as well.
Can you take us to some historical perspective and explain us, for example, how has been this transition? For example, we would like to know more about this.
Yeah, definitely. So I hopefully, you can put a map here for people to understand, because that would be easier to
Yes,
understand
of course.
when there's, visual representation.
Yes.
But for now, I'll just explain you that. Let's just say this is Asia and this is Africa. These are two continents. Gujarat is on the western side of Asia, so almost, it borders Pakistan, and then it borders not borders, but it has maritime routes to the Gulf. So, Yemen and Saudi Arabia and the UAE, Doha, all these places. And then you come down from Gujarat and you find a maritime route that is to Tanzania.
All right.
So you start with Gujarat, right?
All right.
And the Gujarati people are known to be traders, historically speaking.
Yes.
It's just
businessmen or traders, yes.
Yes, exactly. And if we go back 2 centuries ago, 1800s, people would trade spices. That was the most, traded commodity in the world.
Yes.
Now, in this period from 1800s onwards, the Middle East is not as significant as it is today, because that time it was just, pure
developing
desert.
or something like, they were,
Exactly. And they were, because oil, and we didn't have that much, development in that region of the world. But also there, a lot of people moved.
Yeah.
So there were people in Yemen, or the capital of Yemen that time was Aden.
Yep.
Mr. Mukesh Ambani, the richest man in India, is born in Aden, Yemen, because they used to live in Yemen. So that's one place where the Gujaratis, when colonialism began, moved to work and to trade. The other place is Zanzibar. Zanzibar is an island. It's now a part of Tanzania, but it wasn't always a part of Tanzania. So today, the name Tanzania includes ZANIA. That stands for Zanzibar. So these were 2 different countries. So Zanzibar was a separate island. So the mainland Tanzania is called Tanganyika. And Zanzibar, since it got integrated, we had to put their name in our country's name to make it, sound like we're a union of countries. Zanzibar was the marketplace for spices, commodities, gold, silver, and slaves. These were the 3 largest, markets in Zanzibar.
Okay.
And people from all over the world, if you go there today, you'll see that, it has historical contact with everybody. And Zanzibar later was ruled by the Omanis, the sultans of Oman. So our people moved there along, since the flow of trade was moving in that direction.
Your ancestors?
Yes, my ancestors.
Okay.
So my first ancestors probably would have moved to Zanzibar first, and then to mainland Tanzania. So Zanzibar is a place of very, significant trade, because, of course, you have these spices from South Asia and Southeast Asia also. But the Europeans, they needed to find somewhere where they could take it to their country.
Yes.
So before, now we have the Suez Canal in Egypt that connects Europe and Africa. But that time there was no Suez Canal. So what they would have to do is they would have to take the spices from, let's say, Java in Indonesia or India or China, wherever they're taking these spices from.
Yeah.
They come all the way down to Zanzibar first. That's their first port of entry.
Yeah.
Where they would also trade, or, there'd be these markets where you could barter things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back in 18th century, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And since the populations of these colonializing countries were so low, they couldn't send their own people into their colonies and make them work.
Yeah.
So, for example, take Fiji. It was empty before the British came there. They couldn't take British people to Fiji because the British people, first of all, they're very less in number. And second, they cannot survive in that kind of climate. So, they would have to pick someone that would survive. So,
Correct.
Of course, Zanzibar also became the one-stop market for slaves. And now, even if you go there today, you'd see there's a place called Slave Caves, and there's a little bit of representation about how they would, keep the slaves and whatnot. And that is the dark part of the Zanzibar history, along with many other parts of Zanzibar. And the power struggle for Zanzibar was real. People wanted it very badly. For example, the sultans of Oman wanted it. The Portuguese wanted it very badly.
Because of their strategic locations.
Yes, because it is very significant. If you have Zanzibar, you have the market. You have the market, the tax comes in all different currencies and all different commodities. And every colonial power wants this kind of power and this kind of, money, commodity in that times. And so the Zanzibar, then finally, under the Omanese, the Portuguese, the English, the French, they all agreed they came to an agreement that, okay, we let the Omanese, the sultans, handle the administrative issues of this place. We will handle the trade issues of this place in cooperation.
All right.
So then it became, they started it became a trade place, and over centuries, our people moved from there to the mainland. But even today, if you go to Zanzibar and you see the posters or the places where instructions are written, they're written in 3 languages.
3 languages?
Yes.
And which are?
So there's Kiswahili, of course. There's Arabic, because of the sultans and their influence there of Oman. And there's Gujarati at the bottom.
All right.
And if you see a shilling, so back in the day, the British had shillings. When Tanzania became a colony, they would, they had shillings. We also have shillings today, but now they're no longer affiliated to Britain. Now they're our, the Bank of Tanzania, I should say. But that time, a Tanzanian shilling, was the main, because it was called British East Africa and not British Tanzania. So British East Africa is Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania combined. That makes British East Africa.
Okay.
So that's eastern, bloc of the British. All the 3 countries combined is British East Africa. So the concept of Tanzania, Kenya was not people wouldn't use these terms.
Okay.
They would just say British East Africa or Zanzibar, because that's how it was regarded.
Okay.
So the shilling also would be written in, you also had, 3 languages again. You'd have English, you'd have Swahili, you would have Arabic, and you would have Gujarati. All these things printed on the note with Queen Victoria's photo on the side.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So the Gujarati influence is huge on this part of the world, because it's almost as close, the maritime routes. It was very easy to travel for us to go there. And since then, it just became a real, place of we just very smoothly integrated into the Tanzanian society we've never had killings any revolts or protests.
Okay, that's amazing to know.
Any kind of, issues with the local people, nor do we consider ourselves as foreigners. Because that is just not what we do. So it's always been that way. And the Gujaratis integrated into very, very peacefully we still don't face any issues today. Because I think integration in that time was a lot easier than we have it today. And so we just started trading, we started living there, and it became our home. And so, of course,
So you are, if I may interrupt here.
Yes,
So
please.
you are which generation now?
I am the 6th generation.
6th generation.
Of Gujarati people living in Tanzania.
And you know everything about your traditions that you brought from Gujarat back then?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
With the Gujarati people, the traditions follow. And so does the business. It just follows. I'm not, I'm not saying this because this is my community and I'm taking its side. But you take it from an outsider perspective. And you think about it. You go to the US today. You see the motel business. Motels are, hotels, but they're for truck drivers and all these transit people.
Transit
small
people.
small cabins. 80% of motel business is owned by the Gujarati people.
In the US.
Exactly.
Okay.
In the US. Go to the UK. Go to Leicester. You go to streets in Leicester and you go to places in Leicester to see. Not only in Leicester, you go to the Parliament of the UK. You'd have lords who are of Gujarati origin.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, they have been living there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
good to know. I mean, this perspectives, this side of history is very interesting because, due to colonialism, people have migrated because of knowing the places. So England is one of the top places, for example, or United States, for example, or French, colonies were also there in Africa, and that's understandable. But then, thinking about East Africa and and Tanzania and also and the history behind that is literally eye opener. Yes.
I'm not sure if people know a lot about our community.
I think this is a time that we should know about that.
Yes, and I think we live in an era where racial profiling just doesn't work. Because today I cannot make the assumption on the basis of how you look, where you come from, because you might just not. There's people living in this country, in Finland, that are of different origins. They might look different. They might not look like they're from here, but they speak as good Finnish as the local people here.
Yes.
So I cannot say that they're not Finnish because look at their,
This is an amazing point.
Exactly.
This is an amazing point you're bringing up.
It just doesn't make any sense. This is an era. From here on, it doesn't make any sense to say that, I'm from this place and you're from this place.
Like people asking and coming around from, like, for example, where are you originally from?
Exactly.
Like, however, if you are a third generation,
exactly,
or even a second generation, you know nothing about, not much about it. But of course, the people might ask you, like, okay, you are here, but where are you originally from?
Exactly.
But that's a very good point, I think, that you're mentioning.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think this is amazing how world is emerging, how communities are integrating into different cultures and keeping your cultures as well at the very same time. And then how beautiful it is that those cultures are welcoming.
Yes.
Are also adopting the values.
Exactly.
And I think if I'm familiar with the Gujarati community a bit because of my friends, that, they are so perfectionist in every sense, in a way that, everything has to be very best and not letting go your tradition as well.
Yes.
If it is the family structures, they are also still there.
Yes.
Not letting go with the family structure. No. However, whichever generation is is emerging, and this is so good. Good to know. Yeah.
It's I think it's because most Gujarati people we take our religious duties very sincerely and we're very disciplined in that. So our religion is something that keeps us connected to our roots,
which is very good. Yeah,
because my guru, or Pramukh Swami Maharaj, I go to the BAPS. That's a international organization.
Yes.
It's a permanent member in the United Nations of organizations. Yes. We built the largest temple in the West, in Robbinsville, New Jersey. We built the only temple in the UAE, in the Gulf.
In the Gulf, yeah.
And the largest temple in the Gulf also. Beautiful, majestic.
Majestic, yes.
We've built across the world. You go anywhere in the world, most places there is a BAPS Swaminarayan temple.
Yeah.
And my guru, Pramukh Swami Maharaj, would say that culture is like a tree. So, of course, you have your own culture, and that's your seed. That's your main culture. But you put other cultures, you integrate. So culture is not something that, that binds you, but that stops you from going further. But culture is something that helps you grow further. And you grow with other things. So today, I'm Gujarati. That's my culture. But I'm also Tanzanian. I grow.
Yes.
I integrate some of the French values in my life.
Yes.
I grow.
Yes.
So culture is not something that restricts
And
you.
this is amazing that the way you're representing the Tanzania, your country and your background, how knowledgeable you are in the history, and how are you, explaining. And this is so good that you're not just talking about your community, you're talking about the whole country and African nation and how the history has been there and how they are positioned now, for example.
Yes,
This is amazing.
We're taught from the very beginning that this is our country. Tanzania is our country, and because we're born and raised there, we owe so much to
Wonderful.
that place.
Good to know that. Amazing.
And yes, so when we go out, there's not many people from Tanzania outside Tanzania. Our diaspora is not that big. But you go to the UK, most Gujarati people are from East Africa.
Okay. So that's a transition that they
Yes.
have not done from Gujarat itself.
Yes.
But they've done from the
Yes.
East Africa.
And
Okay.
then you go to the US,
Okay.
and you'll find people whose first generation maybe was in Tanzania, Kenya, or Uganda,
Wow.
or South Africa, even for that matter. They moved to the UK,
Hmm.
and from the UK, they moved to the US. That's one, way people have gone across the world
Wow.
and, just spread
That's
out
just
culture.
amazing. That reminds me about some of the other stories as well, that how people have actually initiated their migration, for example. And those migration have brought so much good to the countries. So much new flavors, so much new ideas and ways of living life and tradition that has been, integrating with the existing cultures. And that's beautiful. Just beautiful in that sense.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh my God. And this particular introduction has gone a very inspiring, and also, it's so knowledgeable to know about
because
that. Yeah.
if I speak about one culture in specific, I'm not doing justice to the rest
No,
that
you
I
didn't.
come from.
You did very well. Thank you so much for enlightening us to understand the context as well, because it's important for me as well to understand it in that sense as well. Great. But how, if I take you a little, bring you back here, for example, you are in Finland on your exchange semester.
Yes.
And you have been living here quite a time now.
Yeah, since August.
Since August,
Yes.
like it's been a couple of months, let's
Yes.
say. How do you see Finland or Finnish culture, and what are the areas which you have inspired from, for
Yes.
example?
So Finland, it's very beautiful. Nature-wise, it's very rich. The people here are great. They're wonderful people. Of course, whenever you move somewhere, there's a different culture. There's a different culture shock. I was in France before. Things in France are very different from here.
And you speak French?
Yes, and of course I speak French. Not very fluently. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
But I know how
Yeah.
I can make a conversation.
Yeah.
But and that's one thing that I have to mention, that the French, they like their language very much, and they like it so much that I don't think they've taken themselves out of it. So they always stick to French all the time.
Yep.
And you might see French people struggle trying to understand or speak other languages, because they're very language oriented. They're
Yes.
French oriented.
Yes.
But Finland, I've seen that the people here are very open to other cultures. And I do not see or feel any sort of prejudice when it comes to being here and talking to the people and, being around people.
Yeah.
And so they're very amazing. It's a very small country.
Yeah.
Look at the population of
Yeah.
5 million people.
Yeah.
It's almost equal to nothing if you compare it to
Yeah.
bigger countries.
Yeah.
Compared to France.
Yeah.
France has 60 million people.
Yes.
And this is 5 million people.
Yeah.
There's no match.
Yeah.
But those 5 million people, and so far in this city, in Jyväskylä, I've not felt once that I'm not welcome here.
Okay.
Or
That's
I've
good
not
to know.
faced
Yeah. Yeah.
any issues that you would face in a society that is not friendly. But it's a very friendly society.
As you have mentioned that, you have been traveling, I think you have been traveling a lot before Finland as well. You have been in a couple of places. So every place gives you some unique perspective.
Yes.
Let's say, what Finland has given you so far?
I think the Finns have taught me that there's, that I really think that one thing they've taught me perfectly is the routine. And of course, there is the seriousness and the strength, but I think mostly what I was really inspired by here is how resilient the Finnish people are.
Okay.
I mean, you take current scenario in geopolitics. We have a war on this continent, and Finland borders Russia, and there's different complexities with this, and but they've done a wonderful job, and of course the stakes are high, but they don't let it come to them, and it's not. That doesn't become everything.
Yeah, no panic situation in that
Exactly.
sense, like getting things in a very
Yes.
diplomatic perspective in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
think it's wonderful what they're doing here.
Yeah.
The happiest country in the world for 8th time in a row.
Yeah.
And of course, by happy, it doesn't mean that people here smile a lot.
Yeah.
That's a very different subject. But the people here are happy in terms of finances. I don't
Satisfaction.
Exactly, satisfied people and
Yeah.
very, very minimal people. They don't want a lot and they're not worried.
There's no competition in that sense.
Yeah.
Like basic things that we should think about in the nowadays in such a complex world that we are so much competing and overthinking about future.
Yes.
Sometimes you really need to just stay calm
Yes,
with the nature and
Very
and,
nature-oriented.
and look towards what you have at the moment. Let's say.
Exactly.
Yeah. But amazing. Let's keep going, and this is bringing some different perspective here. But now I'm going to take you to the academic journey.
Okay.
Of course, academic. You are still studying,
Yes.
Despite you have so much of good experiences, and I think you have done the businesses. You have been part of your businesses portfolio as well.
Yes.
Back home, that
Yes.
is some experience that we are going to talk about
Yes.
later. But since you're in academic journey now, and you have been on exchange semester, you're in the field of business. What do you think? How the field of business is changing? Is that worrying you with the new technology that is emerging as a generation that is aspiring for a future?
Are you not gonna say the two magical words? AI?
Maybe you can say that.
Okay, well, I put it out for you since
Yes. Yes.
you took it around and I mean when you say technology now I understand what it means.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
I understood where this is going. But yes, sure, under 100%. But I don't think this is something we need to worry about as students or somebody who is going to graduate and go into work into the real world. It's not something you should worry about. As long as you know that AI is not your backbone. It's just an auxiliary. So if you give the front seat to AI, maybe you're not doing the right thing because then everything becomes about technology and nothing's original. But if you give it the back seat and you use it as an auxiliary, something that you depend on from time to time, but not entirely.
Yeah.
That's just slightly, there's dependence here and there.
Yep.
Of course, it could simplify tasks.
Yep.
But so it's nothing to worry about. I don't think it can. There's different notions when it comes to AI. People think, it's gonna take over the world. It's gonna take my job. It's not gonna do that because it's just an auxiliary.
How do you think, being a young generation, or you are yet to start a career as well?
Yes.
Do you also worry about the new job creations, the new job titles that are emerging because of the AI, because of the technology, evolving technology? Do you worry does that worry you, for example, sometimes that am I in the right field?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it worries me.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you cannot beat a person's thinking and a person's psychology with artificial intelligence. That's
Perfect.
why it's called artificial intelligence and not pure intelligence, because it's artificial. It's made by us. We made it. So you do not know the depth of my mind, but you know the depth of a certain machine and the servers lying somewhere in Estonia, Latvia, and stuff like that.
But that's very important. The way you have put it now is encouraging, not only for me, but also from the point of view that the new generation, which is yet to take some decision about the future field, that, hey, this is something that you can use it
Yeah.
for your work, for your daily life, but you cannot just accept it that AI is going to take over your life or your jobs in that sense.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And of course, I can say that these people, these companies, are going to replace me with AI. I'm not sure if these companies would survive that long without real people. Because AI, it has its limitations. And that's why it is AI, because it has its limitations. We do not have these limitations these things have.
Yeah.
For example,
Yeah.
you know, these companies might employ AI to simplify their tasks. Maybe they have this AI that sends beautiful emails to their customers to hire, to get them to buy their products.
Yep.
You think a customer is gonna buy product on basis of just an email? It's not very likely.
Yeah.
Would you buy a product just because you got an email and it says
No.
wonderful things about the
No,
product?
of course I need to consult. Maybe I can ask my friend. Maybe I can ask
Exactly.
some acquaintance that, hey, how have you been doing with the
Exactly.
product, for example? And that's how we do it. We are humans. We do talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just now replace AI and put a human being, a salesman who actually sells the product
Yeah.
and knows about the product.
Yeah.
Now I, as a salesman, tell you and explain to you, and we talk and we go back and forth about this product. You have the chance to negotiate with me. You have the chance to tell me to what can I improve about my product.
Yeah, definitely.
Does an email have the capacity to do that, even if it's an AI? Like, if you tell an AI to make changes in the
Yeah.
product, I don't think you would be seeing very good,
Yeah.
constructive arguments of changing the product.
Yeah.
But
That's-
when the human, is involved,
Yeah.
you have a human idea. Because at the end of the day, it's the human using the product and not the AI.
I think that's an amazing advocacy that you have done here. I think that's going to make happy many people.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hopefully.
Very good. It's very good to see such energies, We need that. We need those energies, and we need to be very positive.
Yes.
And I love that the way you are being so positive and so encouraging for not for yourself, but for the future generation as well, which has been or which will be the prime subject of the changing AI technology. Now let me take you and try to understand more about you, for example, taking you out of the academics. How is Om as a social or socialite? How do you socialite with people? How do you engage with people? What do you like to do in your spare time, for example? Because why I'm asking is, things are changing.
Yes.
We are more into social media. We are more into digital segments, and there are so much media hubs that we have, or you name it. And of course, these media hubs are so smart that they have identified macro and micro segments. So they have their audiences, for example,
Yes, definitely.
and the screens are consuming us a lot.
Yes.
And this is very serious that the young generation is at not realizing that how much quality time that they are spending being in front of those screens in that sense.
Yes.
Now, I want your perspective to know that how do you cope up with this challenge, and how do you make sure that you are away from the screen and being human more?
Yes. Since we've become, so attached to this identity that we've built over time with social media and the coming of internet, and then now you have Instagram and all these apps where what you are is 100% defined by what your Instagram says about you. Or I can make a judgment on how your Instagram profile is, and maybe I can just guess your personality.
Hmm.
But it does not make any sense if from my perspective, because people are different, and Instagram and stuff like this, social media, it's all become all about who has the best things, who has it's become very materialistic.
Faking the personalities.
Exactly. It's become very materialistic. And now to tell whether or not it's true or not, that's a whole different debate. But if you see from a general perspective, or the way I think I
Yeah.
see it is,
Yeah.
we need to talk more as human beings, because we're called social beings. For example, we're not social beings because we have social media. We built social media. We're social beings because we are built that way to interact with other beings like us. So being a student, I think when you're young, you have that chance more. Of course, down the line, in the future, you have that chance too. But when you're young, that's when you can sort of decide where you can be.
Yeah.
For example, if you choose to be an introvert always,
Hmm.
it has its perks. There are people who are very silent, and that's not a problem. It has its perks. But then you also need to learn how to interact with other people, and how to align yourself
Yeah.
with other.
Yeah. Very good point. I think so. When we are talking about this very important subject, and this is very important subject for teenagers and emerging youth, for example, many times it has happened that the kids or the youth have gone into the loneliness because of not being so social, and then there has been several mental challenges emerging because of not socializing in a way that we used to do it before, and because of this social media, or let's say any kind of media channel. How do you see that? How do you protect yourself as a student, as a normal human being? What do you do, for example, in order to make sure that you are not falling into the trap?
So I'd again like to quote, my guru, because my gurus are the people that I'm supposed to build my lives on. My guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj has done so much for the people. I think if you Google him, you will see a lot to read and learn about him. He was a monk. So in the BAPS, Swaminarayan sect of Hinduism, the monks, they have the five major, the five main things they have to follow. So first of all is nishkam, which means you can never marry. You have to be a celibate for your whole life. Also, this includes not coming face to face with a woman intentionally, of course, because when you travel and stuff, there's no way you can't just look at them. But intentionally, you do not have to come face to face to them. And so that's one. And that's not to oppress, or that's not to show that, we don't care about women, but that's, a personal discipline.
Discipline, yeah.
They have niswad, which is being tasteless. So what the monks in the BAPS do is they keep a bowl, and they mix all the food they're served, and they dilute it with water so they don't get attached to a certain taste. And then there is leaving your family, because of course when you be a monk you have to leave your family, and you have to serve the society. So it doesn't mean that when they become a monk they don't have to care about other people and then it's just all about them. No, it's just they have to serve the society. So these monks, we have about 1,000 monks, the BAPS, and they're from excellent backgrounds. Investment bankers, doctors, pilots, engineers, you name it. And from all around the world. You go anywhere in the world. You go to the UK, and there's a monk who was an investment banker.
Yeah.
Had a salary more than, the cost of this, this place combined.
Yes. Yes.
And he left it all.
Okay.
And so when you become a monk, you're not entitled to keeping any money. You can't have a bank account.
Any worldly affections, for example.
Nope. No money, no cash, no bank account, no digital crypto, nothing. So you always have to ask other people when you need something. So, when I think about them, it's like, today, if I want to ask, when I'm capable enough, but I have to ask you for something. Imagine, what kind of embarrassment that is.
Yeah.
But that's to follow the last principle, which is being without ego. So when you don't have money, you also have to ask other people, and that kills your ego. So you have to serve. You know that you're not. So you're a spiritual being. So that's just a brief I'm giving you about.
The
being.
So it's I'm trying to understand, and this is very nice, unique way that you have interpreted that how you follow your gurus, and how you interpret them, and how do you apply it in your life, for example, to not to be attached to something only.
Exactly.
So that's somewhere, and I think if I can, for example, put up a quick question. So, for example, as an inspiration, you keep this principle always with you in order to understand and interpret everything?
Yes. So when, in 2005, the president of India at that time, Mr. Dr. Kalam, he went to Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and he had this Vision 2026 project that time for India to prosper. And, there were different areas. There were 5. And my Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he said, add one more. It's faith. Faith in God. Because that is what things are built on. You have faith in God, these things will come easily. You don't, of course, having faith in God doesn't mean you don't use social media, don't do this. Faith is not something that binds you. Faith is something that sets you free. So when you have faith, when you have these boundaries, and I'm not saying that you follow a particular religion or you start believing in God, but I different people have different perspectives about this. Some people like to say that there's a force.
But it's about your story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so from my perspective, it's always come handy, and I've always used technology to connect with my faith. So every morning when I pray, of course, I'm going to use my phone or my laptop to watch or to learn or to hear a sermon. And I don't think that's hurting me. Because every time I hear a sermon, I know that, I have to do the right thing today. Or it's just helping me pray.
Yes, and organizing your day in that sense. Very good, very good. It's a unique perspective in that sense. Very good to understand. Every journey is unique in their perspective, and your journey is really unique in a way. Where is the future? What future you are looking at? What you want to become?
Yes. So ever since, of course, I'd let other people's stereotypes win because the Gujarati stereotype is okay. The son always becomes the owner of the business after the father retires.
You're the next Ambani.
Are you
next Ambani?
Probably not. Well, hopefully, if you give me your good wishes, but so that's always been something that we hold on. Like I said before, when I mentioned that culture is not just the practices that we follow. For us, culture is everything.
Yeah.
And my culture, we've always known to do this, and that's why we went to business schools. And and the people that I know, there's this very special person, and I'd like to say his name as we're here. His name is Mr. Subhash Patel. He was an industrialist in Tanzania who passed away in 2020.
Okay.
If you Google him, Mr. Subhash Patel.
Okay.
He's the owner of the Motels group in Tanzania. Today, his son, of course, carries on the legacy. But he was the perfect example and the perfect inspiration for me, because we called him Subhash Dada because he was old. So grandfather is Dada in Gujarati,
Yes.
and he was also of the Swaminarayan faith. He always followed all the rules and all the disciplinaries that are in our faith, while he was also the topmost industrialist in the country. He was the best friends with the ex-president, the president before we have the one right now. His name was Dr. Jakaya Kikwete. And Jakaya Kikwete and Subhash Dada were best friends. And he had that level of influence politically and this way. But 7 p.m., he would be at the temple for the arti, or for the prayers for the people who don't know what arti is.
Yeah.
So at 7 p.m., he'd always be there. Any corner of the world. He comes from, let's say he comes from a flight back to Dar es Salaam from somewhere. He would get a police escort from the airport. He would say, I don't care if I have to pay more, but I want to be on time for my prayers. And I think that's a wonderful example of how we can build our future. I think that I want to build my future. You always need someone who inspires you at the end of the day.
Wow.
So ultimately, for Subhash Dada, he was also our guru. So today, our guru, because Pramukh Swami Maharaj passed away in 2016. After that, we have a lineage of gurus. We don't have elections or whatsoever. The older guru just nominates the next one.
Yep.
And so today we have Man Swami Maharaj. The same aura, the same personality. And ultimately, of course, he's our true inspiration, along with God. And but Subhash Dada was also, the guru is a monk, but Subhash Dada was a businessman. And I'm giving you one example from, there's hundreds of people in the BAPS who are extremely wealthy, their business acumen is above the roof. You sit with these people, you know how things actually work. And Subhash Dada particularly, because his life, he was not always the way he was. He was into all sorts of things before. There are instances when he slapped a policeman, but not gone to jail for it, because he had that power. But even after he became, he started praying and following the religion, the BAPS. He wouldn't do all these vices anymore, these bad things anymore. But he still had the same aura and the same strength. So strength is not always, being able to overpower other people. It's being able to lift other people while you stand up. And in his life, I've seen a lot of people that he's lifted along with himself. That's why we still think of him today. We still say his name. And to someone that, I don't have that much experience with him, because I was very young when, he passed away in 2020, and I was really young that time also. I wasn't that young, I was a teenager. But before that also, we grew up watching him.
Yeah, of
and
course.
We grew up listening to our parents say, and other people talk about him. And not only that, we saw it in practice, that this is not just, fable stories that, that these such people exist about, who can balance religion, faith, and business, everything all together, and still be all powerful and can lift other people.
Yeah.
But it was real. He was right in front of us.
Definitely.
And so for me, that has always been, if I don't even want to be like him exactly. But if I get somewhere close, it would be a privilege. And it would be an honor for this man.
You know the Gujarati language?
Yes, definitely.
And you know that there's one...
Kiswahili.
Kiswahili
Yes.
language. Okay. I want you to speak that.
Okay.
And give your best wishes.
So we always say whichever God we follow. So the people who follow Krishna Bhagwan, they say Jai Shri Krishna. The people who follow Swaminarayan Bhagwan, like myself, we say Jai Swaminarayan. So we say Jai Swaminarayan. Ane apra dada pradada apne kanu batu aipu. Ane apre આ લાઈફમાં આગળ વધવાનું અને ભગવાનને સેન્ટરમાં રાખવાનું બધી જગ્યાએ કારણ કે એની ઉપર આપણી લાઈફ ડિપેન્ડન્ટ છે. In Kiswahili, we have the word jambo for hello. So we say jambo. Jambo, yes.
Yes.
And leo ni siku nzuri ajili ya watu wetu. Sisi nipo hapa kwa Finland umesoma vizuri na watu mefurahia sana. Asanteni. Asanteni is thank you.
Asanteni.
So, yes, thank you.
Well, on this note, I also thank you.
Yes.
Asanteni for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
It's really been a pleasure.
Yes.
To talk to you, to understand.
Yes.
And I think this particular episode would be amazing for people who want to know about history.
Yes.
People who would like to know about the community, and people or young generation especially who's looking forward to grab the strength, how they should proceed ahead in their life, for example, and not to worry about everything.
Yes.
Every small thing doesn't matter.
Yes.
And be very strong in the opinion and within your personality, because you have the courage to talk and also to inspire and to get inspired from some beautiful or amazing people in your surrounding. Look forward for that.
Yes.
Look forward
definitely.
for that. Amazing.
You need people who you look up to.
Yes.
And you have to make sure that these people are almost perfect, because that's what you have to aim for to get somewhere so far. You know what? In English they have this saying that shoot for the moon and you end up in the stars.
Yes.
The same way you must keep someone that's very very proper in the things they do.
Yes.
So,
exactly. The good company makes you.
Yes, it makes
better
you a lot better.
Yeah. Great. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a
for being
pleasure.
on the Swades Podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so
thank you.
much.